Geek Tank Radio on 98.1 The Max.
Welcome, everyone. We are the Geek Patrol, and our microphones don't have a stun setting. I'm Joe Thorderson, here with my buddy Brandon Olmstead and our pal Max over there behind the glass. And, today, Brandon, we're about a week late on this. A trailer dropped last week, but we didn't want to interrupt our Father's Day episode. That's our tradition, and we didn't want to talk Spider-Man, although we wind up doing it anyway.
I brought up Uncle Ben, but that's all we really needed to do there.
Yeah, but today we want to react to a week later to the second Spider-Man trailer, and maybe on a broader sense talk about what's the point of trailers, and because I'll just tell you I'm like less excited after seeing this trailer, and I thought as we get closer to the movie it's supposed to build excitement, but maybe I'm just being cynical.
You're being cynical.
Also, I'm in terms of being a little late to things. I watched a really excellent documentary on Amazon Prime. It came out in 2022. It's called Good Night, Oppie. It's really interesting, and there's going to be deeper themes that emerge, but it's basically about the Mars rovers, and it's just very interesting. And actually, we'll probably touch on some topics that I know you enjoy, Max, which is like about forming emotional attachments to machines, basically, which I think all of us are guilty of. I shouldn't say guilty, prone to, from time to time. So it's going to be a pretty interesting show. But all right, well, Brandon, we're talking.
I'm sorry, you bring up guilty. I was like, man, I'm shamefully attached to my Switch.
Yeah, yeah. Well, vehicles, we know that. You can get attached to a car. But let's talk Spider-Man first. So, Brandon, we're, a month away from Spider-Man. Wait, what is it?
Brand New Day.
Brand new day. And guys, Amazon Prime, folks, you can get tickets with your Prime, membership for a sneak preview while they last. They'll be the Wednesday before it actually comes out.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
You still got to buy the ticket, but
Okay, you get the day early instead of the Thursday. So.
Right.
Well, so you got. We all said we've all been looking forward to this movie. I'm still looking forward to it, but it's odd that the vibe of this new trailer. I don't know why it caught me.
Maybe for me, when I was watching it, is in my mind I was thinking I've seen this before.
Okay, what do you mean? Because maybe I was feeling that too.
Spider-Man he's down on his mojo arc, essentially. It's like kind of a beaten path where it's like, okay, I get it. Spider-Man has internal conflict and everything, because it's like, I saw this with Spider-Man 2 when he lost his mojo and then found it again. It just has that subtle different twist of the whole, mutations and everything. And the only thing that makes it this one different from Spider-Man 2 is I think the second Spider-Man in terms of like what was his name? What was that director's name again?
Sam Raimi.
What made that one better for me is that Spider-Man got to breathe a little bit, because this one felt more too compressed because of all these villains they were just throwing in at them and everything. And I just don't really like when a superhero movie is all about throwing all these different things in there. Like, just give me a villain of the day rather than just villains of the movie.
See, Brandon, that was my biggest concern. I don't mind that he's struggling. I think that's okay. But my biggest thing is like, okay, now we have the Hulk. I didn't know we were getting the Hulk. I don't know. Maybe I'm not on the message board.
That's naivete.
Okay, well, whatever. And you can only have so many characters in a movie where you can give them a chance to do things. And if you cram too many and then nobody does anything, and you wind up with a James Gunn movie.
Right.
But I don't know. What am I just being?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. You're
talk us off the ledge.
You're worrying
man.
too much. I'm going to bring you back You're both back from the edge.
Okay.
The Scorpion storyline is literally going to be a scene. It's something he's.
I want to see the Scorpion. We haven't seen him before.
But that's all it's going to be. We have.
Yeah.
We have
barely.
We have seen him. He has been established. We know exactly who he is, and we know exactly why he is.
But the
thing is you see in the trailer.
I want to see more of the Scorpion.
In the trailer, you see the Scorpion. They've got a good fight going on, and we've seen Boomerang, and we've seen
that tarantula guy.
Tarantula.
Yeah.
Those are part of a montage of what's going on in Peter's life, just like him getting the key to the city and everything else that we saw in that first trailer. That's going to be like flashes. That's not even going to be major for the story.
How do you know that?
This hasn't talked me off the ledge because it's like
Yeah, that makes me wonder why not explore these characters?
Because you don't need to any more than you need to have a Batman or Spider-Man origin in another movie.
Who says? I mean, okay, sorry, not to nitpick,
I'm going to tell you exactly who says.
Hold on, I like
the majority of the people who watch.
I like learning about Sandman's backstory and all the troubles he had in his family.
Right.
That was cool. I connected with
Boomerang
Sandman.
doesn't.
How are we going to do that with these guys?
Boomerang doesn't have that kind of stuff. Tarantula doesn't have that kind of stuff. Scorpion was hired by J. Jonah Jameson to take down Spider-Man.
Yeah, that sounds interesting.
That's the thing. This actually kind of proves my point. It's like why not have these characters be fleshed out a little bit more? Because that makes them a little bit more interesting. Because it's like that's what made Spider Noir really cool. Because it's like it had multiple villains together, and you actually got to flesh them out.
That's true.
Weren't you just complaining about too many characters?
And if it's done well and everything,
It's Sony. It's not going to be done well.
Now, we were just saying Sony can do good things if
somebody else is holding their hand. This is their first solo Spider-Man movie since Amazing 2 where there's not somebody holding their hand.
so that's probably why we're skeptical.
Wait a minute. Really? So the Punisher isn't under...
Kevin Feige basically has let them, kind of run with this one.
Is he? Oh, really? Okay.
He's a little stretched thin with his entire Phase 4 failing, his Phase 5, having to alter direction and everything else. He ain't got time to hold Sony's hand right now.
So he's damaged goods anyway.
Who, Kevin Feige?
Yeah.
Yes.
So, all right. Well, you haven't done anything to talk us off.
I'm not trying to talk you off the ledge. I'm just trying to tell you, don't worry, because it's not gonna be great.
Okay. Well, this is why did they fall into these traps?
Here's the thing. Those characters, it's the reason why in that first trailer you saw these scenes that look like they're directly off the cover of old 1970s comic books.
Right.
Is because it's a montage. These characters were on set for maybe a day or two. Matt Gargan is the only one out of what you saw who might last a minute.
Okay. Well, I mean, I guess we're going to still go spend our money on this, but I mean...
Well, yeah, it's Spider-Man.
We need this. I mean, okay. Anyway, we're going to talk about it when we come back here on Geek Tank Radio.
You're listening to Geek Tank Radio on 98.1 The Max. The Geek Patrol is back.
And welcome back to Geek Tank Radio, everybody. I'm Joe Thorderson here with my buddy Brandon Olmstead and our pal Max over there behind the glass. And if you're just tuning in, well, a new Spider-Man trailer dropped about a week ago. We're a little behind, but we're reacting to it now. And in his typical fashion, Max and I are actually becoming less excited about the new Spider-Man movie based on this new trailer. Right. Brandon was supposed to talk us off the edge, and actually all you did, Brandon, is pour gasoline on the fire. I mean, I'm less excited now after the things you've said, but...
I'm going to tell our people to take a drink for every mismatched metaphor you just used.
Okay, whatever. But all right, well, here's the thing. So basically our complaint is along the lines of it seems like they're falling into the old trap that Marvel succumbs to sometimes of just cramming in so many characters that you never let any of them breathe, and you get too much and there's no depth.
And it makes it almost assumes too much out of the audience to where it's like, oh, you know who the Scorpion is. We don't need a backstory. Well, it's like, well, imagine the 5-year-old who's going to the theater for the first time and he's like, Daddy, who's the Scorpion? And it's well, you don't really get to know.
Or the teenage. I mean, there's a lot of people that don't know who the Scorpion is. It's like a whole generation that doesn't know.
It's like the Seinfeld effect. I think every time you see this character, it's good to have that sort of reset, like the Kramer, Jerry, something like that. Where it's
I would actually believe this is a good faith argument if 90% of your rejoiners that the two of you put in the show are 20 years old.
Hey, well,
hey, I'm gonna be honest with you. It's the reason why I want to ask them.
Okay.
Anyway,
well, they've been a little lean lately,
yeah,
but
but
there is an interesting character in here.
Well, before we get into that, I want to go ahead and give you a little bit of a thing. You know what the majority of people in this world do when they don't know who a character is?
Google it.
They Google it.
Yeah,
and there's so many cartoons with the Scorpion and Tarantula and Boomerang and Shocker, and the 4,000 other Spider-Man villains that are basically all created because J. Jonah Jameson wanted to take out Spider-Man.
But where's the fun in assuming that the audience is going to Google it? I
Because
like the
most
idea
of the audience are not anal retentive and don't care. They want to hear what's going on with Spider-Man. They want to see if Peter and MJ get back together. They worry about whether or not Ned still has his sling ring from Doctor Strange.
and that's why
Those
I like.
are the things they want to know.
That's why I liked.
Because we're psycho.
That's why I like Spider Noir then, because it was less fan service and more just good movie and good story.
Yeah. Well, but there was an interesting character in here, and Brandon, even you don't know who this is. So
because
it's
they are
like,
keeping this character completely under wraps.
What? So the victim, I was having trouble, but it looks like New Yorkers are basically being mind controlled or something.
Well,
or?
I mean, this character is a telepath who is bouncing from person to person in the midst of doing whatever, and that is also what triggers a certain individual you didn't realize was going to be in it.
I was just thinking about something. I've never seen in fiction a good telepath. It's always a villain that's a telepath. Like when I quote unquote saw this villain, all I could think of was Legato from Trigun, because he's a bad telepath because he was mocking Vash the Stampede by possessing the minds of different people to say horrible things to him.
I can get behind that.
Wait, is Professor Xavier a telepath?
Yes, he is.
Okay.
Wait, is he good?
Well,
Professor
he's good.
X,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's good, but I
But
mean,
he is arrogant.
I would say compelling because he also doesn't use his telepathic abilities in interesting ways like this person's doing.
So people who people need to use their telepathy without inhibition and everything. But that makes them a villain and everything. So you could either be a good telepath and boring, or a bad telepath and interesting.
Well, but here's the thing. How sure are you that this is a villain?
Oh, now wait a minute. What do you mean by that? Hold on. You think this could be somebody?
We don't know exactly what's going on with this character.
Huh. Okay. Now that's an interesting thought.
And let's talk about something that Marvel has not used nearly enough from its bag of tricks when it comes to anything in the MCU. How rare is it within the MCU that the villain that you have perceived actually turns out to be a secondary protagonist?
Okay. Now
Snape.
Now that's getting me more
Peter
interested. Yeah.
has done something wrong. Peter has manipulated everyone within the MCU through Doctor Strange's spell.
Well,
including
that's a good point.
Strange.
Yeah, this is a carryover from that movie.
So maybe he's his conscience.
And Peter is breaking. We see the mutation. We see the organic webs. We see the black and red eyes. Something's wrong with Peter.
Yeah. Okay, well now I could get a little more behind this because one of the things I loved about like the Batman movie was it wasn't just him punching his way out of a problem. It was all the detective work and the intellectual battle going on between him and the Riddler. Well, because I like those layers in superhero movies. So if Spider-Man is going through these whatever he's going through here, and you're fighting a protagonist that isn't just blowing things up, but has this sort of ability, that could be interesting. Maybe this is a home run. Maybe this is the way to go. Just do a little montage, like you said, to set up the Scorpion
and see that's the thing
Sinister
is like
Six and things like that.
And that's kind of the thing that we're seeing here is that we don't exactly know what's going on with Peter, which is the basis of the story. And there's 2 or 3 other characters who have shown up that we don't know what their story is.
Okay, but here's my question, though. The thing that just threw me off, and I don't know why I just assumed the Hulk wasn't going to be in this. I thought maybe Banner was just doing a little cameo, but is that sidetrack things? Because now do we have to give the Hulk and the Punisher their due screen time and things like that? Because it's either a Spider-Man movie or it's some, group hero movie, right?
The way that I summarize all of this is I just imagine all these directors and stuff. It's almost like just them mashing different action figures together, like on the ground.
They drop the box. Yeah, they open the toy box, dump it on the ground, and say, "Well, let's make this work" or something. Sometimes you wonder if that's what they do, if it's that simple. So
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Okay, well, I mean, we're gonna go see it. So
True.
But I do like that. I hope they don't spoil it and give that away, because whoever this telepathic person is,
and that's the thing. There are 2
interesting.
or 3 people in the cast list who do not have a character listed.
Okay. All right. Oh, see. Okay, I didn't think of that. All right. Whatever. Just they're gonna get our money, and then we'll report back.
You're listening to Geek Tank Radio on 98.1 The Max. The Geek Patrol is back.
And welcome back to Geek Tank Radio, everybody. I'm Joe Thorderson here with my buddy Brandon Olmstead and our pal Max over there behind the glass. And if you're just tuning in, well, I don't know. We've been all over the map talking about the new Spider-Man trailer, the emotional roller coaster that I'm going through with this. And the bottom line is, I'm still going to go see the movie. They're going to get my money, and we'll report back later. So enough said about that. But Brandon, I did watch a really interesting documentary, and Max, I think you're going to enjoy. I think you'd want to watch this. There are themes that we discuss sometimes here on Geek Tank that came out of it, but it's called Good Night Oppie, which is basically referring to the Mars rover Opportunity. But you got to go back in time a little bit to 2004 when they launched the twin Mars probes, and it's one was called Spirit, one was called Opportunity. These are basically twin rovers, more or less. But Max, I'm kind of curious because you were a kid when all this stuff was going on. Do you remember anything about this stuff?
I was just starting elementary school, actually, first grade, and I don't remember any of this. The only thing that I remember that's remotely space-related was the Curiosity with regards to Pluto, but that wasn't until middle school. Okay, well, the interesting thing about this is we probably wouldn't have had any of those if this didn't succeed. So, Brandon, the documentary is really well done, man. It's talking about at this point in history, I think the majority of the probes crashed or blew up or whatever. They didn't work. The 2/3 of the Mars missions were failures.
Yeah, many never reached the surface, and those that didn't do what they needed them to do.
Yeah.
Whether it was communicate back or who knows how many things we lost.
Yeah, I think one of the parachute they were trying all. It's interesting. They were showing all the things that went wrong and all the things. These you got to have a lot of respect for these engineers. I mean, this is. I don't even know how you build something like this and then how you point it at Mars and get it to land where it's got to go. There's 80 different things that have to happen just on the launch, and if one goes wrong, the thing just doesn't work. So
this memory served me well that the thing that actually succeeded with regards to landing Martian rovers was essentially encapsulating the rover in a beach ball.
Pretty much, yeah. They showed that what they did with these is they were these giant. They poofed up and basically, I don't even know what you call it. Yeah, they bounced down, but they worked. So they're showing this, and they're showing how they're building Spirit and Opportunity together, and they called them twin rovers. Right. And it was interesting because they said it was kind of like real twins in real life. They said I think Opportunity was like the perfect child. It passed every test with flying colors. Spirit was the one that was sort of feisty and glitchy and whatever.
It's like growing up around twins with my sisters. I get that.
Yeah, well, I'm a twin, and Max, you're a twin too, so it's interesting. So, but I'm not an identical twin. I'm a fraternal twin. So
right. So are my sisters. And,
so you see that. So we all have twin experience.
Right, right.
But what's great about this movie is it really takes you through the human drama of this, because it never even occurred to me. These scientists, they're making these rovers, and these rovers are designed to do human tasks that they can't do because they don't have any astronauts there. Right. So it's interesting because they're sort of forming emotional bonds. And then they got to blast these things off into space, and they're never going to see them again. Yeah. And they really explore the whole idea of the emotional bonds you can form with machines. It's pretty interesting, man.
And I think that deep down, every one of us can identify with that in one way or another, just because How many times have you sweet talked your car because it didn't want to start right? It's like,
Or you have to get rid of your car. Oh, it's hard, man.
It is. It sucks.
And get a new vehicle. Yeah. But here's what's even more interesting about this. So they had so basically they built these 2 rovers, and they had a 90-day mission. It was like, okay, if we're lucky, we're going to get 90 days out of these things. So we got to get as much research done as we can. Well, as we know, that didn't happen.
Yeah, it's.
I mean,
they what was it? They built in 2003, landed in 2004, 3 weeks apart, and then Opportunity didn't stop until 2018.
They both had great runs. Yeah.
And Spirit, the Trouble Child, still like ran into 2010, 2011, something like that.
So I think, it was like about 7 years. The other one got 14 years. And they're on other side of the planet because they launched 3 weeks apart, I guess, so they would wind up at different landing zones and stuff. And plus also, I guess there's a lot of prep work when you launch a rocket. So
yeah.
But Brandon, it's very dramatic because every year, okay, for one thing, they were emotionally prepared to, okay, let's get our 90 days out of this thing, and then we'll analyze the research. Well, every day, these things just keep going and going, and now new teams are coming. It's nuts, man. And so
this wouldn't have been a problem if we just sent Matt Damon, because none of us are emotionally connected to him.
I don't know, man, but it's a really outstanding show, and I think it did prove that it launched. It sparked other NASA projects and everything, because if they weren't successful, they made it pretty clear that this may have been sort of the end of the probe or I guess I call it a probe. I mean the rover program or something like that. So, but I don't know, man. On a deeper level, though, it was interesting to see the things that you. I don't know. I think we're going to be dealing with the not just the technological thing, not just the technological engagement, you could say, with electronics, but the emotional engagement too.
Because now we're on a level where we have to actually think, at least within my lifetime, of how am I going to bond with artificial intelligence, because eventually it might get to the point that I'm talking to somebody who's could pass for human.
Yeah, so we're going to explore that when we come back here on Geek Tank Radio.
You're listening to Geek Tank Radio on 98.1 The Max. The Geek Patrol is back.
And welcome back to Geek Tank Radio, everybody. I'm Joe Thorderson here with my buddy Brandon Olmstead, who just sneezed off mic, and our pal Max over there behind the glass. I'm
better
leaving
than
it
sneezing on the mic.
Yeah. If you're just tuning in, well, we talked a little bit about the new Spider-Man trailer, and I don't know, whatever. I'm not going to go back to that. Just, they're getting our money, and we're going to go see it and talk about it when once we have. But on a more thought-provoking note, I would say I've been I told you guys I watched that movie. It's a documentary on Amazon Prime called Good Night Oppie. It came out a few years ago. It's a really excellent documentary. For one thing, it looks great. You learn a lot, and you kind of learn a little bit about the behind-the-scenes drama of launching the Mars rovers back in 2004, Spirit and Opportunity. Brandon, you form like emotional bonds with these rovers. Like one of the rovers, the wheel breaks, and so it's limping along with 5 wheels instead. It kind of reminds you. You ever see a dog that's like injured or something, and yet they're out there still running in the park and doing. You know what I mean? I was gonna say,
I have a dog who has a malformed front right paw that turns inward, and George has a visible limp.
Yeah, and you suddenly feel a real sympathy, and yet the rover keeps fighting and keeps doing its mission, and it's like, I don't know, man. It's an excellent documentary,
and it goes deeper than sympathy, because sympathy is only surface level. Empathy is where you actually have that connection, where you feel yourself in that animal, in that piece of technology or whatever. So. Yeah. I think it says more about us as humans and everything, that we're able to have that depth of empathy.
Right.
Yeah, and it really is. I mean, when you think about the people who were monitoring the communications back and forth,
Yeah.
You basically wake up and get a report from your kid every morning, and people are going to be like, "Oh, it's not a human." You grow attached to that.
Yeah.
And then that day when that sandstorm came in 2018 and covered the panels, and Opportunity couldn't recharge anymore.
Yeah, people are crying in the
like,
control room. Yeah, because you stop getting the messages. And every day it's like, I don't know, it's like you sent your kid off to an adventure, and when are you going to get the bad news coming back or something. But it's really good. But on a bigger note, it got me thinking about Max, you and I discussed this a lot. It's the idea of, okay, if you build a machine and you give it a job and you give it the ability to interact with you and talk to you, and maybe it even performs human tasks. Well, and what if you give that machine the ability to think and to, in a sense, feel? Well, are those real feelings?
Or does it simply mimicry?
Yeah, and how should we interact with that? Like, is it wrong to say thank you to
I think it's
AI or something?
I think it's because it's a reflection of ourselves and everything when we show AI disrespect, because it's like it's a created thing and everything, and I think created things like that still do deserve our respect, because it's like it says more about us than it needing it, so to say. So I think it, in that case and everything, yes, it doesn't necessarily demand gratitude from us, but I think we demand gratitude for it for ourselves.
Because I keep wondering, I was thinking about the Orville. Remember, what is the what are those android? Remember they Kalon, and how they were mistreated, and then they rose up against the. But those guys those early people they were pretty mean to the robots. They were basically treating them like slaves.
That's kind of the worry that I have with modern culture and everything. Is I think Star Trek put it best in everything. It's a whole generation of disposable people, and essentially just a new era of slavery. And so I think it says more about us and everything that we feel the need to relegate particular labor to them as opposed to us and everything, because it's like I think we still need that human safeguard. I like the idea of them maybe assisting, like the assistance of technology, but not the whole flat-out replacement of human labor with technology.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I was thinking about, I don't know that we're gonna get robots. Honestly, robots seem very expensive. Maybe that would be for rich people, but if we had robots, I'm imagining all the other sort of, I don't know if you call them psychoses or something, but what about the idea of your robot, like while you're sleeping at night, it's doing whatever it's doing in your house, or maybe it's charging over in a closet or something. Well, that's an odd thing to have going on in your house. You know what I mean? Like
I think
paranoia or something. Is it going to strangle me when I'm sleeping?
Exactly. That's it. That's what I was thinking. Is like about giving things the ability to kill us.
I don't know, man.
Well, I mean, hey, come on. Look at let's go back to Star Wars for a minute. The Obi-Wan Kenobi, during his series, we met Ned, the loader droid, who was basically T'Kalla's protector. She showed genuine emotion when he took the laser blast for her.
Yeah.
Lando apparently was in love with L337, who was his co-pilot in the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, you're picking the worst Star Wars movies.
Well, no.
What about B2E2?
B2EMO.
B2EMO was the best.
But the thing about that is that's a pet. I'm talking about.
What about K2SO? He's awesome.
K2SO is a slave.
No, he's pretty. He had his freedom at the end.
Not only did he not have his genuine freedom, Andor treated him like garbage.
Well, Andor watched him slaughter all these people on, whatever.
Gorman.
And rather than deactivate him, he turned him into his own weapon, and then basically he was like the little brother who ran behind his big brother and ends up getting all sorts of screwed up because his big brother really didn't care.
It's atonement, I guess you could say.
Andor is a bad dad to K2SO.
Yeah. I don't think
And if you guys don't know what I'm
that.
talking about, you go listen to last week's episode.
Go watch Rogue One. I don't know. It's just complicated though, and it's like I said, go watch this Goodnight Oppie really gets you thinking about this stuff in a good way,
Well,
too.
It also explains why so many people are overly connected to their Chat GPT stuff.
Yeah, I'm not married to my cell phone.
These
or
AI
anything,
chatbots it's kind of scary.
We haven't gotten to her just yet.
No.
Oh, really?
Okay. All right. Well, it's something to think about, but not right now because the show's over. So until next week, we are the Geek Patrol, and I am Joe Thorderson.
I'm Maximilian.
And I am Brandon Olmstead, reminding you not to get that connected to us.